short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. and we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms, you will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered, don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
All right. We're live, Yo, yo, yo. What is going on? Let me know if you guys can hear me good in the chat. About to get started here. Sunday, March 1st. That was the statement. If you didn't hear it the other night, this is actually from February 28th when Donald Trump released his statement. Maybe some of you guys listened to that already the other night. He did that at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think it was around there, between 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, February 28th. Big speech, big statement there. A lot of words, sentences. How we doing? Markets open up today. Everyone's on the edge, on the edge of their seats, wondering what's going to happen. And I mean, you're going to see. We're going to find out, right? We're going to find out what's going to happen, right? We're going to see. And it's obviously an experience that you have to, just prepare yourself for. The markets might be fast when they open, volatile, right? We got a huge situation going on, right, in the Middle East. And it's not stopping, really. A lot of updates all throughout the day about things like just going on. Right, more than 12 countries have been affected. So I've looked at some more things here, but where? Yeah, more than 11 or 12 countries. These are 8 of them here. There's been multiple countries in the Middle East affected, right? Here, and like you heard Trump said, yeah, even some headquarters, CIA headquarters being hit, right? Different areas, different headquarters, different infrastructures, facilities being targeted, right? And yeah, there's been escalation throughout the day. If you watch any news, that's all the news is talking about, right? Last week it was this. Every week there's things, and right now nobody's probably focusing. Like nobody's really talking about crypto right now. It's just war. Like whatever else we were talking about, or whatever else is going on, tariffs, politics, all other news. It's war, right? So crypto, even cryptocurrency, like people might not even be focusing on crypto right now because it's like war's going on. Whoa, like just blindsided. But yeah, a lot of countries have been affected. UAE just shut down their stock market, I think, until Tuesday. The UAE has been affected. Yeah, and let's see what we got in the last couple of hours here on some things. Give me a minute, just gonna scroll back a little bit. So I know everyone's all excited or edgy. Everyone's probably edgy on the edge of the market opening, right? It would have been nice if the markets were open. I mean, it would have been if the markets were. Think about if the markets were open. Well, like the moment, like how quick would you have found out? Most of you would have probably been sleeping unless you were in like Europe or someone like me who's always up at 2-3 in the morning. So it's like, think about if the markets were open. How and when would you have found out? What would you have done? It's like if you found out imagine if the markets were open and you found out immediately. It's like, oh my God, I gotta buy, It's like maybe you found out. Imagine if the markets were open, you found out like quickly. Before boom price. If the markets were open, it would have been crazy, right? Would have been crazy if the markets were open, right? But even through the morning, there were airstrikes going on. Iran launches 4 missiles. Apparently, Iran launched 4 missiles at USS Abraham Lincoln. Now I think it was confirmed that. I think Trump confirmed and said that it came nowhere near. But people are saying the fact that they made an attempt. This is like 5 hours ago, earlier in the morning. So I know Trump came out and said, this is real. Like some of this I don't know if this stuff like this. It's like, okay, maybe stuff like this is harder to accept if it's real. Apparently, Iran released this footage. Iran media released this footage. You could try to see and confirm if that's real, right? Everything, kind of thinking that in mind when you see like these headlines. Like, go look it up quick too. Try to look for other, like, when I see headlines like this, I go look and I see are other people posting it. I look it up and see, okay, did this actually happen? I try to see if other people are talking about it, other outlets, and not just something I saw on Twitter. Or something like this, right? Iran just released footage. So if I see something like this, I'm going to type up and try to see, like, did they actually release this footage? Is it real? Like, or is this just some AI thing or some old video or something from a video game, right? We saw something from a video game. That's why I say that. There was one thing that was out from it was really a video game, but no, there's real stuff happening regardless. There's real stuff happening, right? But like when you see stuff like for example, like I try to like see Iran launches 4 ballistic missiles. So at the time I saw like multiple people posting about this. And then it's like, okay, multiple people are posting about this, let me look it up. And then it's like, okay, this actually did happen, but then Trump said it didn't even come close. They missed, it didn't even come close. But then there's the people that are saying, the fact that they attempted to do that, right? It's kind of like, whoa, right? So that strait is closed. So this is definitely something interesting for oil, because oil, this can also affect inflation. I'm going to show you in a minute. As many have pointed out, no country owns the strait. It's an internal waterway governed by international law, but it can be effectively closed. Ships traveling through the strait purchase war insurance. Look at that. Ships traveling through this strait of Hormuz purchase war risk insurance. What do you know? Interesting. Interesting. Which protects the shipping companies from the cost of being attacked. If insurers refuse coverage and ships stop sailing, oil flows effectively stop, even if the waterway technically remains open. We've already seen 2 vessels targeted near this strait today, with insurance costs skyrocketing. Currently, war risk premiums are rising by 50% plus amid the war between Iran, Israel, and U.S. Insurance costs for a 100 million oil tanker have jumped from $250,000 to $375,000 per voyage. Interesting, because if we see here, this is one of the vessels. Iran just striked an oil tanker. So Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz except for Russian and Chinese vessel. Now, Russia and China are they gonna back up Iran? No, like, they're not gonna come in and do any military action. They'll maybe like support them with materials to build weaponry and stuff like that. You know, like, they're not China and Russia backing the Iran. No, Iran's all on their own with this, right? Iran's gonna be all on their own with this, really. You know, China, U.S., China, Russia, they may just like provide, you know, like material to manufacture, help, you know, with defense and military stuff like that. What's the word I'm looking for? Exactly. Word I'm looking for. More like aerospace manufacturing and defense. Stuff like that. But yeah, like, this is a big thing. The oil, talk about that straight. So we just read this about insurance and how if insurers refuse coverage, oil flows effectively stop. Right now, we're reading this up here, and Iran just closed strait except for Russian and Chinese vessels and struck an oil tanker in the process, injuring 4 crew members. This isn't a drill. This is a geopolitical nuke Iran just dropped. Geopolitical nuke, as in, you know, this, right? Because of the import and export. So the Strait of Hormuz, juggling of global energy, 21 million barrels of oil per day. 20% of the planet's supply flow through this 21-mile wide choke point from Saudi, UAE, Iraq, Kuwait. I don't even know how to say some of these fucking names or this shit. Like, bro, like the fucking supreme leader's name. I'm like, whatever this guy's name. I don't even know how to say some of this shit. Sorry, not sorry. All right, my bad. My bad. If my pronunciations are off, if that offends anyone, I'm sorry. All right. One radio broadcast from the IRGC and tankers are already turning around. Traffic down 70%. Insurance premiums exploding. Majors suspending shipments. Nobody saw this coming. Yeah. Targets the world. Accepted missing proxy oil. All right. There's a lot on this. Consequences will hit oil prices. $150 to $250 a barrel in days. Gas in the U.S. could double. Europe and Asia could face blackouts. These are potential consequences. This person is probably outlining like major risk, right? Airlines, shipping, plastic. Yeah, so yeah, think about it. Yeah, airlines, shipping, plastic, fertilizers, everything to create oil craters, inflation spikes, central banks trapped, recession odds skyrocket. Geopolitics, China and India, huge Gulf importers, right? Because where that is, that strait, it ships out to Asia, and then you got India down there, and then to Europe, right? And what do you have in here? You have Saudi, you have Iraq, you have Iran, right? UAE, Qatar, all in here. Where again, 20% global supply, 30% of seaborne oil trade. So, oil money. America. History repeats. Oil money. Inflation. Maybe this is also something to, I don't know, inflation, because this also affects inflation. Is this something to spike inflation? Do they want to spike inflation? Food prices, fertilizer crunch. So, yeah, interesting. Stock markets are going to open tomorrow, Monday. And yeah, they're going to open really uncertain, probably really fearful. You saw what crypto did. Kind of on the weekend, Bitcoin dumped a bit, had like a little crash. So if stock markets drop on Monday, then crypto might drop too. Crypto probably fall a bit. Gold probably spike up on Monday. New York session tomorrow. I know markets open up in a couple hours. We'll get into that in a bit, but there's a lot going on in oil. As you can see here, an oil tanker was striked, and I think there's been 4 vessels that have been targeted. So, yeah, Saudi Arabia is the largest exporter of oil through the strait, while Qatar leads in LNG exports. 80% of LNG passing through the strait goes to Asia, 20% goes to Europe. So, what are we looking at here, right? The world is a big chess game right now, right? And US is maybe being, sold a war to come in. Sold the war, come in, take over the war, win, victory. We did it. We came in. USA, success over time. How long does the war take? Is it a war that lasts a week? Does it last weeks? Does it last months? That is the question. How long does this last? Is it going to last a week? Is it going to be done in a couple days, right? Or is it going to last months? Right? I think the world is like a movie, and it's like, over centuries, there's probably, it's like we live in a TV series, a different movie, and the movie's been played through centuries, time and time again, different versions of the same movie, the same series, the same show. That's why some people are saying, this it's not a real war. It's not real. It's a real war, but like, you got to understand, like, history tells you everything really about it, right? Has the world gone through this before? Has there been, if we live in a simulation, if we live in a simulation, like a lot of people think, if we live in this TV show, let's say we live in a movie, right? What season is this? This is a similar, it's season what of the same show we've seen before, same movie, time and time. Like, if you were to ask like someone that's like my father's age or my grandfather's age, they've probably seen like stuff, history, like, and then, I'm in my 20s, so it's different. It's like, wow. But yeah, oil. See, this is one of the tankers here. Skylight. Iran has attacked an oil tanker named Skylight. So there's a situation with that. Oil prices, I know everyone's wondering about gold. Stocks will probably drop. Stocks will probably drop. That's like when there's uncertainty like this, like stock market usually has like fear. But that fear could then eventually turn into an opportunity. That's probably what Trump's trying to do. Like the market's going to tank. Eventually victory. I came in. I did something no president would ever do. I did it in this period of time. We got it done. Next, boom. Stock market goes back, creates new all-time highs type of thing. The Strait of Hormuz situation. Reuters is now reporting that Iran is notifying vessels that it is closing. This was yesterday. And again, it officially closed 20 million barrels of oil per day. This will be impacted. 20 million barrels or 20% of global supply. Right, it connects to the Persian Gulf, Oman, Arabian Sea. Again, that body of water controls 20% of world's petroleum liquids consumption. In other words, 1/5 of global oil consumption flows through every day, every single day. After U.S. strikes on Iran last night, ships of the Strait are now receiving warnings. So even this oil situation, us gold traders, this creates a really big geopolitical concern for the market. Not just only the war, the missile strikes, this situation, right? What this is leading to. So yeah, ships in that strait yesterday were receiving warning signs. Yesterday they were receiving warning signs. And you can see today how some of them are getting hit. In their 2025 analysis, JP Morgan described this as a worst case scenario for an Israel-Iran war. Because again, every single day, 20% of the global oil consumption, that body of water controls it. In fact, according to JP Morgan, estimates a closure of the Strait of Hormuz could send oil prices to 120, 130 per barrel. This would imply a spike in US CPI inflation of 5%. Last time we saw U.S. inflation at 5% was in March 2023 when the Fed was aggressively hiking rates. Why is this the case? Because energy prices tied directly into CPI inflation. According to the Fed, every $10 rally in oil prices has the ability to increase inflation. Oil prices are already up $15 from the recent lows. Those breakdown of the origin and destinations, oil exports through United States. Okay, there you go. So it's starting to make more sense. In 2024, exports of crude for Saudi Arabia accounted for 38%. Damn. Even the U.S. and EU received oil from this passage. Yeah, right here. See. Barrels per day, almost like up to 20 million. Next question is, why not take a different route? The only sea outlet for oil producing countries, like these ones here, and much of Saudi Arabia's production. This means these countries, so this is because what these take up in that production. This means these countries have no other direct path other than the pipelines, which are limited. Let's see this. Oil field, gas pipeline. All these oil pipelines. Yeah, like everything has to, yeah. Estimates show that Could be rerouted through pipelines. Yeah, estimates show that 6.5 to 7.5 million barrels per day could be rerouted through pipelines, but this is still like a 65% drop in production, or 13% of global supply. So the world is heavily reliant on seaborne crude oil transport, and Iran knows this case. Yeah, and the oil markets have already been partially pricing this in. The cost of shipping 2 million barrels of crude to the Middle East and China up to 200,000 per day. It's been a 584% increase, the cost of this. It's worth noting that this strait has never been fully closed in modern history. Read that. This strait has never been fully closed in modern history. Radar data shows, like we already saw, and they were warned to start kind of evacuating that area. But things have been targeted and things have been hit. So yeah, there's a big threat about oil. So what will happen? Oil prices on Sunday night when futures open. As seen below, a large geopolitical risk premium has already been priced into the oil markets. This makes the next 24 hours crucial. This was yesterday. Will Trump begin pushing for a new deal or continue military pressure? Yeah, it looks like there's been more military pressure so far to me from what we've seen. I mean, I think Trump said they're going to talk things out eventually, if I'm not mistaken. Still, gold will probably spike up. I think bullish gold. Like, what are we going to be, bearish on gold? Are we gonna bearish on gold, guy? I'm fucking like a full port sells on gold. So yeah. Let's see. So that's that about oil. That's a big situation going on. Trump comments on it. He says, "I'm not concerned about anything," he says. Yeah, Iran attacked Qualified oil tanker Skylight as it's passing through. We saw that already. U.S.-Israel war with Iran sends oil market into biggest crisis in decades. UAE shuts down its stock market Monday and Tuesday following Iranian strikes. World's second largest shipping company suspends transit through the state. So yeah, lots going to be going on. Like, look, one of these companies, I don't even know about this company, just suspends, so productions, things are going to be slowing down. This was last night. Like 15 hours ago, Iran stated that they were going to hit very hard today, harder than they ever hit before. And this is what Trump said. This is Trump's words here. So Trump was saying, Iran just stated that they're going to be hitting very hard today, harder than they ever had to before. They better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. Yeah, this is some stuff from yesterday. And just so we saw, like, gold and silver posted their highest monthly closes ever in history. Metals have been strong already going into all of this. Like, metals obviously had a huge crash at the end of, there's a huge crash, but it's like metals have been gearing up to this now, and even the last week since Friday when the market closed. If you guys go look at the session I did Friday, I said the market could go up. Like, if you guys look at what I talked about on Friday's session before gold pushed up, we were talking about the triangle pattern, right? But yeah, Trump. I've seen some things today. After the information from Israel that the U.S. tried to negotiate a ceasefire with Iran, President Trump now says they should talk with Iran. We'll be talking to Iran. We should talk. And then, yeah, I heard he said we'll probably talk soon. Trump on Iran. Nobody can believe the success we're having. 48 leaders are gone in one shot. Yes, for the supreme leader was killed, and then they have people who could take his spot. They're going after the people who would take his spot, right? They already killed one person that was gonna get put in, got announced as the new leader. Yesterday it was 40. Today I'm seeing 48. 48 of these leaders that, the supreme leader, they got him, they killed him. Trump stated that the U.S. operation against Iran is proceeding ahead of schedule. Trump stated that Iran was supposed to get nuclear weapons within 2 weeks, so USA attacked. Ahead of schedule. So let's see how this goes, but regardless, it happened, so markets are going to react, right? It happened. Regardless, there's going to be uncertainty, right? So prepare yourself. It's an experience, right? So should we go on gold for Tokyo session long? That's up to you. Honestly, that is up to you. That's up to you, right? Yeah, maybe when everybody expects the price to go long, maybe it'll dump first. We don't have control over what the market's going to do when it opens, guys. The market's going to open. Liquidity is going to come in. Volume's going to come in. Traders are going to be active. Are you the faster trader? Are you the more patient trader? Whatever it comes down to. You could go, if you want to buy gold, you could try to long it when the market opens. Maybe that's going to work. Maybe it's not. You have to plan what you're going to do and prepare yourself for anything, right? If you're planning on buying, you could buy when the market opens up. I'm not saying do it, right? That's either going to work or it's not. It's just like taking a regular trade. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, right? So it's everybody, I've never gotten so many people asking me if we should buy gold. How do we buy gold? Do we buy gold? Do we buy gold? Today and yesterday. And it's up to you, really. Think about it. I'm getting hundreds of people asking me every day now. And it's making me think, man, everybody wants to buy gold. Everybody wants to buy gold. Think about the thousands and hundreds of thousands of other traders out there that are going to be doing the same exact thing, right? So what are you going to do? What is your risk? What is your appetite? What is your energy going into this, right? Like the video, folks. Just 36. Come on. If you guys, I live downtown Toronto. I live right downtown Toronto, so, Gold, what if gold dumps? It could. That's the thing. These are things, you guys are asking me these questions, right? Anything could happen, so you have to prepare yourself for it. I don't know what the market's going to do when it opens. We could say, let's wait for a pullback. Maybe we just wait for a pullback. That might not happen, but that's it. I'm just going to say wait for a pullback, guys. Anything could happen. What if it goes for a liquidity sweep? What if, because anything could happen. So this is where it comes down to, you have to mentally prepare yourself for those anything scenarios. If you're just going to click buy right when the market opens, what if it dumps first? What are you going to do? You have to prepare yourself for the situation, right? Right? Because everyone's asking me, do we buy gold? Do we buy gold? I'm getting tagged in the chats all day. I'm getting DMs. Do we buy gold? Do we buy gold? And I'm like, are the indicators there? Is the information there? What do you think? So this is our third stream. I'm going over this information for a reason, guys. Right? This is our third stream in the last day. We streamed 8 hours ago. There's a reason I'm going over this information. I'm not sitting here like, let's buy gold, yo. Yeah, I could hype this up. Be like, yo, let's buy gold right when the market opens up. What if it dumps? Then what? So you have to be prepared, like, for anything. There's a reason I'm going over all this information for you guys. Because it's like, is the sentiment there? Is the uncertainty there? Historically, what tends to happen on events like this? So plan something. Plan your trade. Trade your plan. Are you going to be more aggressive and risky? Right? Or are you going to try to wait for a good signal, a good confirmation, or a good entry point? Right? How can the market present that? Those are ways you have to kind of think going into it. Right? Could there be a big dump in price? What if it dumps on the open? What if price dumps? And everybody who's like, do we buy when it opens? What if we buy when it opens and it dumps and you blow your account? Then what? What if you buy and it opens and it shoots up 500 pips? It's one way or the other, really. So you have to kind of plan like the worst case scenarios too. Like, what if price dumps and it tries to find buys after? Right? What if it dumps down and tries to find buys after? Because there's so many people asking me, like, do we buy? What if you might not even have time to buy? This thing might just gap open 500 pips and it's like, oh shit. You might not even have time to buy, right? Like, realistically speaking, you might not even be fast. You might not, like, the market might just gap up 500 pips, right? So I've shared enough information. This stream, like the last two, we've done this stream twice already, right? For a reason, right? Because if gold goes up this week, would that be random? If by Friday gold is trading higher, are you gonna be shocked? Like, whoa, gold's trading high. If gold's exploding if gold in the next 48 hours is exploding up or trading higher in the next 2 days, are you going to be shocked? Are you going to be like, oh, that makes sense, right? So it's like, what's the bias going into the week? Like, people are asking me, do we buy gold? Like, form a bias. Like, a clear bias should have already been established for you guys. If you've been on the last couple of streams, a clear bias should have already been formed, right? But a lot of you guys are asking, like, this question in such a novice way. Like, do we buy gold? There's hundreds of people asking me that same question, is what you guys got to understand, right? So think about the hundreds and thousands of traders out there going to do the same thing, right? It's a very novice question to be asking in an environment like this. What is your bias? What's your underlying bias? Because there's New York session tomorrow. You could honestly wait until New York session tomorrow and probably buy a New York session tomorrow, to be honest. There'll probably be an entry in New York session to look for a buy. There'll probably be bullish movement in New York session tomorrow. You could probably just wait until New York tomorrow, see where the market's at. There's probably going to be bullish movement in New York tomorrow, right? It's not like you have to chase the move right when the market's open, right? Or FOMO into this. What if there's a big drop and it comes to 5,200 or lower, right? It's like, there's not like just one singular person asking me, do we buy? It's like on an hourly basis, 5-10 people asking, do we buy, right? So it's like, duh. Like, you're looking for buys. Like if it's not that crystal clear, like of like what you're looking for going into this week, it's like, man, why am I going over the information I'm going over, guys? Like, it should be clear, right? I'm not gonna click buy for you guys, or like if there's not a signal to send here, like I'm not gonna look for a signal and say, guys, buy, put your stop loss here. Like, this is an experience for everyone to learn from. This is a major market experience, right? I've been trading for 11 years. So the way I'm talking right now, all those guys you see on social media that flex like fake accounts and shit, bro, they don't trade. They don't trade. All those guys, like, I've been trading for 11 years. All those fake accounts, marketers that use demo accounts, fake accounts online and flex like profit that you're probably never gonna make in your life, to be honest. Like people that are making 7-figure days, 7-figure weeks, 7-figure months. It's profit you guys are probably 90%, probably 95% of you are never going to see, to be truthful with you, because it's the world we live in. The social media, it looks so easy. You have all these people flexing fake money, fake profits online, 7-figure months, 7-figure weeks. Like it's so easy, right? Like, so like, I've been a trader for 11 years, and you got to understand, like, this isn't an environment for everyone. This isn't an environment for everyone, right? Like, if you've been trading for a couple months, like, just take a step back, watch the market, like, learn things, understand what's going on, right? Because I've been doing this for 11 years, right? If you've been doing this for a couple months, like, don't get hyped. Don't get FOMO here. We're not talking about hype here, right? We're not talking about copy my trade. Let's win. No, like this is a real world situation going on. We have to analyze it, right? Form a bias, right? It should be obvious what your bias is, right? Stop thinking so like minuscule of like, Evan, are we buying? Like, bro, like, I wouldn't. I like. I sure you have to stream with the amount of information out there. You should be able to put it together and be like, yo, gold's probably going to try to go up this week in the first half at least. Now, if Trump comes out, what if Trump comes out? The one thing that could steer the market is just Trump coming out and saying, we negotiated a deal, the war's over. And it's like, then you'd probably see gold kind of drop in that moment, literally. But it's like, look at the world we're living in, especially since 2025 and like, well, since 2020, COVID, Ukraine, Russia, things that have escalated since then. What's next? Right? Is this the last thing that happens in 2026 or, you know, for however long this takes? Is this the last geopolitical event that occurs in the year of 2026 that has this, type of category or falls in the category, right? Or falls in the category. When I say falls in the category, like look at what's happened already. A lot of airspace is shutting down. I was gonna fly to Dubai, literally. I was gonna go to Dubai this month. I have to take a little. Looks like that's getting postponed. Yeah, like the $1 million question. This is the question. All of you guys have the $1 million question here, and it's like, that's the thing. You guys are asking, Evan, are we buying? Do we buy when market opens? Do we buy? When do we buy? When do we like? That's $1 million question, right? You know, it's not just like, oh, here's our confirmation. This is what it's like. Yo, like look at what this is a real world situation, right? Like, what's gonna happen when the market's open? What happens to the stock market this week? Well, here we go. In the lead up to the weekend, and the lead up to this weekend's events in Iran, we saw large geopolitical risk premium price into many parts of this market, right? That makes total sense, and that's what I've been saying. Like the market's already kind of had strength going into this, right? Things are already pricing into this, right? Things are already in risk. Things have already came into like risk premium zones. Well, almost like look where gold is. Market's closed. War with Israel, Iran, US. Market's closed. Not that far from all-time highs. Silver. Market's closed. Not that far from all-time highs. Oh, US, Iran more. They, market makers are already pricing this in. Right? There's people who knew. The market's always one step ahead of you. Right? So the question becomes, is this geopolitical risk premium enough for what's happening now. Right? It's an excess expectation versus reality situation. At 6 p.m., futures open today. We expect to see an initial surge in commodity prices and drop in equities. That makes sense, right? Commodity, gold. Everything I've been saying, uncertainty, like the last 2 days, this is our third stream. If you look at everything I've said in all of these streams, right? We've put together a lot of information about this, right? What I've said, my view, what could happen. Right? So yeah, like potential surge in commodity prices, drop in equities. The Strait of Hormuz situation and its potential closure is the biggest risk to financial markets right now, which will drive broader prices action. Yeah, like there's two situations here, right? There's a war, right? A lot of people think it's war, right? You know, people, one country striking another. But this straight thing is a whole nother geopolitical situation, which I think adds more fuel to gold. I think that's going to add more fuel to financial markets. So this is where, when you guys ask me, like, do we buy gold? You guys got to understand, like, what happened. This is where my head's at. Exactly what this is saying is like where my head's at, and the things I've been saying the last 3 sessions we've done. All right. If you go listen to everything I'm saying, last 3 sessions, it's a lot of talks like this. So I've said, like, it depends on how long this even lasts. Like, going into this, it's obvious, like, gold buys this week. But what if Trump comes out in 5 hours, like, we're done, we completed everything? It's like, damn, so we got to pay attention, obviously, to how things move forward with talks, agreements, how long this lasts, how long this officially lasts, how long this strait is closed, how long this conflict officially lasts, right? President Trump just posted this. I urge Iran military to lay down your arms or face certain death. He just posted that. The U.S. will avenge the deaths of Americans. President Trump says conflict with Iran could last 4 weeks. There we go. All right. Some expectation now. Because, like, Trump seems like the kind of military, like the guy, he's really serious about the military, the U.S. Like, he takes that shit serious, if you haven't noticed. He's serious about the U.S. military and their operations. And so far with Trump, his operations have been, like, more swiftly, quicker. Like, the June 2025 operation, that took, like, 20 days. So it did last some weeks in terms of the market. If President Trump follows his historical path, we believe an initial surge in commodities and drop in equity markets could rapidly be undone. Partially if a deal is floated. So if a deal, it's all about if they make a deal, they come to an agreement, right? But, I mean, how does this thing come to an end? That's the, like, any sort of indication of when the military campaign will end could reverse price action rapidly. Again, still geopolitical risk premium already priced in. So, like, reversals take, like, agreements, maybe, like, military slowing down, planes are leaving, shipments are starting to leave, this, like, that types of talks, those types of talks. However, this catastrophic case for the markets is one where the U.S. and Israel enter a prolonged war with Iran lasting months or longer, resulting in a sustained closure of the strait. A full closure of the strait would send oil prices above 100 per barrel, according to our analysis, which would spike inflation. That said, do not forget that 3 of President Trump's top policies are to be the peace president and eliminate inflation and lower gas in the U.S. to $2 per gallon. A prolonged war with Iran would work in the opposite direction of these key initiatives, particularly in short term, in the midterm election year. We think Trump aims for a swift operation, short and swift operation, and markets prevail once again. The dust settles. So it's like in the near term, it's like things are gonna spike, things are gonna surge, uncertainty is gonna be in the market, fears is gonna be in the market until things settle down, until military campaign end or agreements come and talks come. That's where you get like maybe that rapid reversals that come into play, right? Whereas if a prolonged war, if this turns into a situation that lasts months, then it's like gold will probably go on a really, really long surge, right? It already looks like gold is shaping up to break out to the upside, right? Trump just said, so Trump just posted. All right, so we got some breaking news here. Trump just posted. Trump's talking right now. Is he talking right now? No, he just posted. He's posting. Let's see here. We got some breaking news on the man. What's Trump saying? Let me find some of this stuff. It's bad if Europe gets involved or NATO allied countries or if Iran, because Iran, their missiles have the capacity to go as far as even countries in Europe. So if debris, what if like if any type of debris or like missile gets like rerouted and like hits something in Europe, like some Europe debris, like something, it's like whoa. If Iran, any Europe, like NATO, because you got the NATO allied countries too that would step in and back US, right? And Israel. And it's like Iran, I think Iran's pretty much like on their own on this shit. That's my opinion. We got some breaking news here. What is Trump saying right now? Let's see here. Hold up. It's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks. We got some breaking news here. I'm going to pull it up in a minute. France deployed their carrier. France deployed a carrier strike group to the Middle East. Israel extends state of emergency until March 12th. We got some breaking news here. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a minute. All this distracts you from anything else that was going on, right? They were going through a lot of negotiations with diplomacy. Let's see here. Wait a minute. Where are we at? Let me refresh this. It's full port. Like if you're a risky person like me, you like most of you guys should probably know what I'm gonna be doing. I don't gotta tell you. Most of you guys that actually follow me, like if those of you guys who have been in like the inner circle for some time, maybe like should know me by now. You guys should know me by now. Anyone who's been here, y'all should know me. So what? UAE shuts down its stock market Monday and Tuesday. That's interesting. UAE, man. I've seen some of this, the oil tankers. Where's the stuff that I just got? I got some new stuff here. Hold up. So President Trump, let's see. Let's listen to this here. We got some breaking news here from the man. He just posted this. All right, so I'm going to play this. I want to hear it. Give me a minute. Got some breaking news here, actually. Let's play this. Let me turn the volume up.
The United States and its partners, over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now, again, the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons, would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right, and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right. There you have it. Donald J. Trump himself, breaking news 5 minutes ago, urges them to lay down. Again, he said that in his first statement. And President Trump says conflict could last 4 weeks. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, guys. We're here. We're live, right? Some people ask some questions. Chat, let everyone know. There's some new people here. A lot of you guys are OGs here. Let them know. Let them know in the chat. There's some new people here. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button, yo. We got 170 people on this call right now. 600 views. 600 views. Damn. And look at the likes. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I uploaded a video today, actually. And I recorded that video when I was in Dubai, actually. From one of my students' testimonial video. From one, I would say one of my top students. Maybe like an OG in the inner circle. Good video. Real people, real testimonials. Interviewed him. We had like a 15-20 minute call or so. And chopped it up into like an 8-minute video there. And yeah, good call. Check that out. Just posted that today, 7 hours ago. I have a few videos like that on my channel. And there's a few other people I've been meaning to interview. There's another one over here. There's a few other people. There's a few other you guys in the inner circle I've been meaning to interview, actually. A few of you guys. Nassim had a crazy testimonial. He went from $650 to $32,000. That was when gold was moving crazy back in like September. And then we got Giorgio. Some of you guys know him. The guy who flips $30 accounts to multiple $1,000s. But if you look at my channel, there's multiple videos like the one that I posted today. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check out the videos we post every single week. Every single week we're posting videos on this channel. Let them know, chat. Let them know. Let them know. So yeah, President Trump says conflict. He just posted that. You can watch that, find that if you want to rewatch it. Says conflict could last 4 weeks. So there we go. If this turns into 4 weeks, it's like gold's gonna trend, right? Like, think about it. 4 weeks. France deploys their carrier strike group to Eastern Mediterranean. France. That's a NATO ally, I thought, right? France. Israel extends state of emergency until March 12th. Yeah, UAE closes its stock market for 2 days. Wow. UAE affected. U.S. had intelligence Iran was going to do a preemptive strike. Trump did not want to sit back and let U.S. troops absorb unnecessary blows. It's nighttime, so it's not. Remember, it's nighttime over there. Yeah, more strikes are happening like right now because it's nighttime. It's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks or less. It's a big country. What are they? They're trying to overtake the country themselves or let the people do it? Like he said in his speech, something about the people. You have, this is your chance. You know, all that, right? What do you guys think about all that? You know, what do you guys think? Is Israel trying to expand the Israeli into another, you know, expand their territory? Iran launches cluster of bombs at Israel. Dozens of projectiles seen. 1 hour ago. So yeah, in the last like hour or so. Yeah, urge. We just listened to that. We just listened to all that. The U.S. will avenge the death of Americans. So it sounds like more. It sounds like It sounds like, and this is you. We're looking at U.S. Like we're not. I'm not even looking at Iranian news outlets. Like if we were to look at like Iranian news, Iranian media, like what are the Iranian people saying? Like this is what Trump's saying, and he sounds like we're gonna do anything we have to moving forward. So I'm not looking at freaking right now. Like if you're watching like the Middle Eastern broadcast things and stuff, like people at political levels, what are they saying and stuff? There was that video of them chanting "Death to America," burning that like a week ago in the parliament. So it's like, yeah, it sounds like conflict could be continuing. He's saying his words. That's the thing. Like the last 2 sessions, I've just been presenting you guys. The last 3, this is our 3rd session, right? I've just been presenting information, right, about everything going on. Stuff he's saying, stuff people are saying. Conflict with Iran could last 4 weeks, so that maybe gives you some expectancy there. Smash that like button, fam. Gold. Like when USA invaded Venezuela, right when the market opened, I clicked buys and I didn't go in heavy enough, and it was like, damn, like I really missed out on the opportunity I had. It was obvious. USA invaded Venezuela, right? We already know about that. Yeah, like Twitter, like X.com probably has the highest, like I think Elon said is the highest usage. Like I've just been watching, like I've been on X, just Telegram chats, that a couple like Telegram chats that I'm in. It's definitely been something to keep up with, right? So USA invades Venezuela over the weekend on like Friday, January 2nd, Friday, January 3rd. Now, the market was selling off before that, It's like the market before that was in a good buy too. It's like, interesting. Right now we're like in kind of like premium territory, right? We're higher up, obviously, right? The USA invaded Venezuela beginning of the month, January 2026. We started the month off pretty hot. Pretty hot. And March 1st, we're starting off the new month pretty hot, right? Now, when we look at seasonality, right, March tends to have some expansion in it going into April. The beginning of March can have a push up. And there can be expansion into April in terms of March. Seasonality. This is when we talk about seasonality here. All right. Can March be a trending month into April? Does today have to be your only opportunity to maybe catch a wave up inside of whatever this is going to be? Because we have to pay attention to this event as it escalates and as things continue tonight. Market open tonight, tomorrow, New York session tomorrow, like London session, New York sessions where volume comes in. New York session is going to be key in terms of timing. If you're going to see bullish continuations, if you're going to see bullish expansions, bullish volume coming in, New York session could be a key vital time in terms of positioning where those movements come in, right? If you're looking at how things go forward, right, your only opportunity doesn't have to be looked at today, right? You don't have to FOMO into this because March could be an expansion month that goes into April. So there could be pullbacks on the 1 hour chart, pullbacks on the 30-minute chart that you find along the way and you get into. For example, USA invades Venezuela on March 2nd, March 3rd. What does price do when the market opens? It gapped, right? If you go to Oanda, the market gapped. So, if you weren't in the market, damn. It's like, fuck, this just jumped up 300 pips. Should I buy? What do I do? Right? That's where it's like, you have to look at the opportunity or what's happening, right? The situation, right? Like, look at what market did when USA invaded Venezuela here. It was the weekend. Market gapped open. Gap to the upside. And then from there, it was gone. Now, was that your only opportunity to get in? No. All right. If we go to the other chart here now, let's go to the other chart that I was on, forex.com. I like it over here. The candles look a bit different. Like here, you had your first really big pullback because the market hit a peak, right? And it had a huge pullback, fast. So it was your first fast pullback. From there, continued up, buying opportunity. And then you got a much bigger pullback here on the 30-minute, 1 hour time frame. That continued prices up. Consolidation. Break and retest, right? Break and retest on this. I sent you guys a signal actually on this trade. I sent you guys a signal here. You can go find it in the Telegram. I sent it to the public chat. You can go find, if you go in January, go look at the beginning of January and go look at the buys that I was sending you guys in Telegram. Go start at the beginning of January. I was sending you guys buys in January. I got the receipts. The receipts are there, yo. Beginning of January, whether you're in the Telegram or Discord, I sent a lot of public signals, right? Sent a good amount. Beginning of January. Look at this. I was on it. If you go back and you actually go look at January, I had a crazy month. Go look at the entries. Go look at the trades. You'll had a crazy January. Some of you guys don't even remember January. And I sent signals to everyone. A lot of signals to everyone. Like public chat. Beginning of January. This was back. Remember, down here was where USA invaded Venezuela. It spiked up. I was sending you guys trades and markups when like the market was moving after that. When oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. See, like when I teach stuff, I don't just like go back and do something. Oh, if you bought here, you would have been perfect. Like I go to somewhere and I'm like, oh shit, I just realized, like, look at the analysis I sent you guys there on that bigger pullback, right? Pay attention right now, because if price moves a certain way, this is how you can understand things moving forward, right? What if you don't catch the gap? What if you don't catch it right on? But price still confirms it wants to go up, right? Things still escalate. Look at how go look. Like I have screenshots of me trading literally January 5th when the market opened up, looking for buys. January 5th. Looking for buys in that market. Right? These are signals that I sent to all of you guys. All of you guys that are in this, I sent you guys all signals, and I was even writing stuff. I was writing minor support. I was looking for support levels, looking for areas. Next morning, I send this on this pullback. So you gotta understand, right? January, I was riding buys. I was catching different buys. If you go back and look at all the different signals I sent throughout January, and then even there would be more inside the inner circle. If you're inside my inner circle, there would be more signals also inside of there. But I sent a lot in January. Like that first pullback, I was there. That bigger pullback, I was there, right? Waiting for that dip, waiting for maybe an opportunity, right? So it's like, do you have to catch the immediate movement, right? Everyone's worried about how the market's going to move, but look at this perfect example right here of this setup where I was saying price is still holding above 4,400. As long as price holds above 4,400, bullish remains bias. Bias remains bullish. Bullish remains bias. Said it backwards, right? So I was following through the chart, right? I was following through the chart, looking at things, right? As the market was going, I was keeping an eye on things like that first pullback, boom. And then it ended up like breaking out of here, and I'm catching those. That's a break and retest right there. If you go look, I caught these moves. I'm not just talking about moves that, oh, yo, look, you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this. No, like what these places that I'm showing you right now, I was breaking down in January, live, sending signals as the market was in action, moving, right? So it's like I'm just different like that, right? I'm not going back like 3 days after. I'm not showing you guys something 3 days later usually. Like I usually show you guys in real time a lot of stuff happening, the thought process, decisions behind things, right? But we got that first pullback on gold, right? First pullback on gold. So understand, USA invaded here. This is where it happened, right? USA. After that, there was still a lot of action to catch. Because, again, that, and that wasn't even something that lasted that long. When USA invaded Venezuela, right? That's down here. That didn't even last that long, right? If you look at the geopolitical situation that we have right now with Israel, Iran, and US, we just saw France. Is France coming out? Some support just behind France. USA invade Venezuela. How long did that last? I think hours, right? It was done by the next day. USA invaded Venezuela. It's not even about catching that first move. It might be harder to catch that first boom, right? Because like the market could gap, right? You could gap open. Here's the thing. You could just gap open. And it's like you got to try to just go with that momentum quickly. But if you look at when USA invaded Venezuela, and why am I using USA invading Venezuela as an example? Because it fits into the category of conflict, crisis, and geopolitical tension. When we're talking about high risk, right? High risk headlines. Smash that like button, fam. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. In the chat, I think we almost got 3,000 people on the stream here. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We have a crazy day in the markets opening up, right? Last time we had a situation that comes, I wouldn't even say comes close to this, but fits in the category, right? Trump just spoke moments ago. Before I end the stream, I'll pull that up. Before I end today's stream, we'll listen to that if you didn't hear that. Trump just spoke. We have some breaking news, right? Markets are about to open up in like an hour. And things are getting interesting. This is probably going to escalate. President Trump says conflict with Iran could last 4 weeks. 4 weeks, right? And when we look at the way things are going, it's been a couple days now. It's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks or less. It's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks or less. Everyone smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel, fam. Everyone's interested in seeing what the markets do today. We got 4,000 on the stream. We got 4,000 people plugged in today. All right. It's getting wild. Trump just said this. So we were all wondering, like, how long is this going to last? Is it going to last days? Is it going to last days, hours? Or It's looking like weeks. It's looking like weeks potentially. And USA, when they invaded Venezuela, that didn't last that long realistically. But that was a high risk headline. And it did happen on the weekend. A lot of these major headlines happen on the weekend. So one thing you'll notice is a lot of these big situations, these big geopolitical escalations happen on the weekend. UK Prime Minister, authorities restrict Iran from British military bases. Just in now, so a little bit more. Seeing some breaking news, just paying attention. There's been 15 countries affected directly with this. Now, Iran is the first country in history to attack, directly or indirectly, 15 different countries or their military assets single-handedly in a 24-hour period. These countries: Israel, Saudi Arabia, United States. Holy. Now we see France getting involved. "15 countries, guys. Getting involved. Smash that like button, fam. It's because I did something. We did something. No, never mind. Smash the like button, fam. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, though. We're here every single day. "15 countries or their military assets have been single-handedly affected in a 24-hour period." This is the first time in history this has happened. And the thing about Iran is they have military assets and missiles that can go to long ranges, like long ranges. These are medium ranges. They have things that can go to long ranges. So that could affect, if European countries get involved, if any debris or anything happens to like European countries, that's where this thing really, really escalates. But US, it looks like Iran is pretty much on their own with this thing. But let's get back to the charts here for a minute. All right. When you have high risk headlines on the news on weekends, usually things gap up, right? So we might create a gap up. That doesn't mean there can't be opportunities after. Because if you look at when USA invaded Venezuela, gold went up for the entire week, right? For the entire week. Or weeks, the entire month. It actually went up for the entire month. That kind of was like a bottom point, signaled like a bottom point. Y'all gotta smash the like button, fam. Y'all gotta smash the like button. Show some love out there, fam. Subscribe if you're just tuning in. I see we got a lot of people tuned in. We got a lot of new people. Subscribe. We're here live. We've been live the last couple of days, actually. This is our third time going live here. And we've been talking about a lot of this information on this situation that is ongoing here. If you missed the last couple of streams, there's a lot of information I've already broke down as well. So, like, I know everyone's interested in maybe that first, boom, market opening up. Yo, let's see what happens. Because, yeah, like full port buys, buy when the market opens. That's exciting. That could potentially work. But look what gold did. Again, it went up for weeks. So there could still be opportunities is what I'm saying. The point I'm getting to here is the market could expand up and pullbacks, right? If you want to find even trades after, this is where you're probably going to have to watch like the 30-minute chart and the 1-hour chart closely throughout your sessions. Tokyo session, London session, New York session, all right? When volume comes into the market. New York session is probably going to be a very, very key time this week for potential entries or potential volume and movement if gold's going to be very, very bullish. I'm going to be streaming a lot this week, guys, all right? So make sure you guys plug into the streams. all week, especially if you're inside the inner circle. We're definitely going to go live tonight inside the inner circle community. If you're inside the inner circle, I'll drop a link a little bit after the market opens up, probably like once price starts moving and we get maybe a sense of which way it wants to go first, right? So we're going to be definitely live tonight in action in the inner circle when this stuff is dropping, when the markets open up in an hour. I'll probably be live in 2 hours from now. I would say 90 minutes to 2 hours from now inside the inner circle. I'm going to be active today. I'm probably going to get no sleep tonight. To be honest, I'm going to be up. I'm probably going to get no sleep, but not going to be like try to be glued to the charts. Like if I get some trades, I don't want to just like watch the trades too much. I want to like set and forget, you know, hold, not fold, and try to catch some good moves, right? If the market is going to go up, it could potentially go up for the weeks, but I'm going to show you guys and break down tonight later, if you're inside the inner circle, a lot of stuff on potential ways we could look at the market even moving forward, all right? Because if you look at gold last time, yes, it exploded up in the first hours of the market opening up, right? But there was still opportunities inside of that whole entire week or weeks going forward. So it's like, don't get FOMO if you miss out the first hour or two. I might miss out, right? A lot of people miss out. If you're already in the market, you might be positioned well, right? Things could just gap up like they did last time, right? We might just see a big gap. But that doesn't mean, and I'm going to break it down really in depth tonight, because if you go look at the Discord and Telegram, there's a lot of signals that I was sending you guys and trades back in January when gold was first moving up, right? I was looking at those pullbacks. I was paying attention to the structure. Like here, I was looking at a minor support area, break and retest. So I'm just going over this stuff briefly right now so you guys quickly understand it. But if you look at here, I was looking at a major support area at 4,400. So as gold was going up, right, I was still looking for like pullbacks. I was still looking for setups back in January when USA invaded Venezuela, right? And I was still catching these pullbacks. For example, like the 30-minute and the 1 hour are probably going to be really, really handy if the market's going to keep expanding up and go in an expansion phase where you'll get these types of pullbacks that happen, right? Ones that could even last a couple of hours, right? Or consolidation that happens, right? You see along the way here even, and right here, I want to outline right here, because see where it made that wick? That's where price peaked. Price peaked right there and then went immediately down, right? We peaked and we went down and then we went up. So that was like technically the first pullback. It was really fast. Why? I was there. I know it was fast. I remember it, but I could tell it was really fast because of the wick. Whether I was there or not, regardless, I know it was fast because of that wick that it made and how it came down and it went up pretty quickly. It didn't last too long, right? Is the point that I'm getting to. And buyers stepped in. Next pullback, buyers step in. Buyers step in. So weekend headlines, war equals uncertainty. Spelled that wrong. Weekend headlines, major risk headlines, especially on weekends, create uncertainty. And right now there's no price action, but when the market opens in, everything's going to get priced in, right? When there's uncertainty, that creates demand. So demand is what we know as like buying, right? Buy low, sell high, right? So demand is like when price goes low, when it's at a support, or like if you're in a downtrend, demand will be at lower lows, right? Or demand is when the market hits a support level, right? In an uptrend or in an environment, right? In an environment where there's demand. Because right now we're in an environment where there's going to be uncertainty, there's risk, there's geopolitical risk, right? Geopolitical concern. So we're in an environment where there's demand. How that looks like is, again, like flow. Like it's expansion, quick pullbacks that get bought up, right? Quick pullbacks. Buyers tend to eat those pullbacks up, okay? So when you look at last time, again here, when USA invaded Venezuela, look at the first little bit of the chart here, right? Look at the first bit of the chart. Look at the first bit of the chart here. You know, everyone's hype wants to catch that first move. I know. But it's like that first pullback, if we expand up, that first pullback could be key. That first big or fast pullback. Buyers may want to step into the market. Or even other pullbacks after that. Because you can see buyers ate this thing up every pullback. Every single pullback, buyers would eat up gold, even if it was small pullbacks. Even if it was small pullbacks, right? This turned into a big correction. Buyers would just eat the pullbacks up. And along the way up, it just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. Even up here, when you look up here, you see these bigger pullbacks that gold's making. So you're going to have to watch, like if it expands up, we're going to have to be watching it tonight. See if it expands up. Right? If price expands up, it's most likely going to gap, right? Because again, we just had all of the weekend crisis the last couple of days. So we got to keep up with these headlines. We got to keep up with what Donald Trump says. As he just stated, right? As he just stated, and again, breaking news, another missile strike in Jerusalem, I think. Trump on Iran. Yep. Some moment of impact in Israel happening. Yeah, there's just always breaking news every 20, 30 minutes, it seems, right? So you're definitely going to have to keep up with it. And I'm going to be doing that tonight. If you guys are inside the inner circle, yo, we're going to be going live in like 90 minutes. We're going to be going live in like 90 minutes, all right? It's going to be dope. It's going to be fire. It's going to be a crazy week. Probably going to sleep like 4 hours a day, all right? Maybe like 5. Probably going to sleep like 4 hours a day this week, to be honest, right? And yeah, let's see how the market plays out this week. Like, I'm prepared for gold to probably gap up, right? Last time there was military involvement in another country with US was down here. January, the beginning of January. And what do we know? We're in the beginning of March. Subscribe to the channel, fam, if you guys are new here, yo. If you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel. March could be an interesting month. Gold tends to push up into April. So Trump said, what did he say? This conflict could last 4 weeks. We don't know how long this conflict's going to last. If it lasts 4 weeks, then what's gold probably going to do? Well, let's look at seasonality. Seasonality, we are in a seasonality where gold tends to be strong, right? March, April. AUD/USD opened, gap down. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Type in the chat if you guys, type in the chat where you guys are tuning in from, yo. Where are you guys tuning in from? It's 5 p.m. right now. Futures, commodities open up in 49 minutes. Get ready. Gold traders, I know gold traders are getting ready to click buy. We're in the month of March. March tends to push up into April. So, I mean, there could be bigger outlooks as well. We don't have to FOMO. There might be, yeah, something to miss out if the market pumps up, right? It might be, right? It might be some FOMO. I understand it. But look at seasonality. Seasonality could push up into April, right? So it could be a bigger move at play here where we could find different setups in the next 24 to 48 hours, right? It's going to be definitely interesting here. Dubai, my guy Leo in Dubai, yo. Pray for Dubai, yo. I got some friends out there. Leo's out in Dubai, guys. Leo is out in Dubai, guys. Yo. Fam, Leo is out in Dubai. Our boy, yo. He's in the midst of that. Dubai, well, they intercepted. I actually saw like Dubai, like their defense system intercepted a lot of missiles that were actually sent in the UAE territory, like not just Dubai, UAE. A lot of interceptions occurred. Like there were actually a lot more missile strikes that were sent in that UAE. 4 weeks, guys. Trump just spoke not that long ago. I'm gonna wrap this session up. I'm gonna actually play his speech here. Some of you guys might have missed it. We're gonna play this before we wrap the thing up in a little bit. We got Switzerland, Dubai, Germany. So soon we're gonna wrap the session up. Like I said, if you're inside the inner circle, we're gonna be live in a bit. Want to see how the market's opened up today. I want to see which way price takes first. Obviously, that's important. Like, what if price goes down because people want to find, like, the market wants to find cheaper buys. The market wants to find, lower prices because the market knows right now there's this huge situation, right? Geopolitical concern. There's a war going on right now. And like we said, there's 15 countries affected in this. I just showed that not long ago, right? First country in history to attack 15 different countries. France. So France is stepping in now. So that makes sense why France, that makes sense why France is bringing in, just bringing this guy over. You're bringing in some aircraft carrier strike group in because it looks like a camp de la Pex in UAE, so maybe a military base in the UAE that's from France, was hit. Italy, a NATO camp in Italy also, United Kingdom, so that's why the UK Prime Minister just said what he said. Yo, Iran is up against maybe I see it as Iran up against like this, or USA's coming in. No sleep tonight. Someone said in the chat, no sleep tonight. Someone said in the chat, no sleep tonight. No sleep tonight. Yo, Leo's out in Dubai, fam. If you guys don't know who Leo is, he's the guy who makes the YouTube videos. Helped edit the videos in the inner circle. For those of you guys that are inside of the inner circle, he edited those videos in there. If you guys have seen the editing on them, there's some fire editing on those videos. We got 2.0 coming out soon. Everybody's been asking me, when is Inner Circle 2.0 coming out? Well, I have a date. If you didn't hear it already, and I'll make a post about it. But I do have a date for you guys. Inner Circle 2.0 is launching soon. Lifetime access, one-time payment, lifetime access for Inner Circle 2.0. And yeah, we do have a date. I'll tell you guys the date in 5 seconds. 2.0 is coming out. 2.0 is going to be sick. Like, I'm super excited. I'm low-key nervous because I know, like, people are going to look at it and be like, damn, I should have done that. Other companies are going to hit me up and be like, yo, you should work for me. You should work for us. And be like, I'm like, nah, I got my own thing going on. The amount of times I've been pitched to, like, join other companies, join other people, this, I'm like, I got my own thing, I got my own thing going on, trader life. I've been pitched, I've been emailed, it's just not worth the time. It's not worth the time. Anyway, 2.0, fuck, the entire ecosystem is about to change. It's going to be legendary. The entire ecosystem is about to change. This is just a little sneak peek on how things are going to be looking soon. And April towards May, April 15th. So we're about, we push the date a little bit, but I got a date, April 15th, guys. So for those of you guys that aren't in the inner circle already, if you thought you were late, there's a lot of people that hit me up like, man, I should have joined a year ago. I should have joined 6 months ago. I'm going to tell you with what's coming and how this stuff's going to look a year, 2 years from now. Now is pretty much early. Now is like the earliest time to join the inner circle because the 2.0 is rolling out in April. So it's going to be legendary. The entire ecosystem is changing. So If you're one of those people that hit me up like, man, I wish I joined when I had the chance. If you feel like that, there's always a chance. It's how you look at things. It's a lifetime, one-time payment in for life. So check it out. And like I said, gold, like you really got to just kind of see how it opens up first, right? Put those circles in the chat, yo. Inner circle in the chat, yo. Drop them circles in the chat. How does gold open? Does it go down first or does it spike up? I think it's going to gap up, right? It's likely. It's likely to potentially gap up, right? We're above 5,200. If it was a regular day, let's just pretend here. Let's just say it was a regular market day. What would I be saying? Like, let's wait for pullbacks to maybe 5,200, right? But obviously, there's going to be way more volatility in the market. Chances are we do gap up. Like I said, we could potentially gap down, right? If it does gap down, right? Be prepared for that. Prices could gap down first. Why? Because again, this whole world situation is going on and the market knows this. Like the market knows there's fear. This is gonna maybe last. So let's see if we can get the best entries. Let's see if we can create the most liquidity, right? Drain the most liquidity. That's how things tend to happen. It's like you have like, let me draw it real quick. It's like, let's just say war breaks out or this country attacks this country, right? And the chart is going down. The chart might go down more just to create that buy effect. Or let's say like the chart's already going up, right? And it's like same thing. The chart could just come down to create that buy effect for like the war that, let's say like war breaks out, right? It's like the market could know that, right? And it's like war breaks out, uncertainty, fear in the market. And I've seen this time and time again too. Throughout 2025, we've seen this where it's like something happens, right? And the market kind of does the opposite because it's trying to create like a better entry, create more liquidity before it sets up for that actual trend, right? So I think there's a trend here, right? For the market. Trump coming out, he just spoke. I'm going to play this before I get off in a little bit. If you didn't hear this, this is important to listen to. This was 53 minutes ago. We played this live, right? So let's listen to this because Trump had some really important things to say moments ago, right, about the war. And like I mentioned, he said this could last up to 4 weeks. He said it's a big country. It's probably and it'll take 4 weeks or less. He didn't say probably. He said it'll take 4 weeks or less, right? President Trump says there'll be likely more casualties. Yeah, that's what he said in his video. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and Bahrain, UAE say they have the right to respond. So some of these countries that were affected, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, I don't know how to say it, UAE, anything else, say they have the right to respond to Iran. They say they have the right to respond to Iran retaliation. Interesting stuff. That's interesting stuff there. Yeah, so pay attention tonight and tomorrow. You're going to see ongoing news. I'm going to be streaming in the Inner Circle in a bit. I'll be streaming later tonight here on YouTube as well. So subscribe if you're new to the channel. Turn notifications on though, guys, so you know when I just pop up. You'll get a notification when I go live. Make sure you turn those notifications on. Subscribe if you're new. So yeah, you kind of have to be prepared for like the market could try to grab liquidity, flush out, go down. Right now, it looks like the forex currency pairs are moving. Some of them, right? Some brokers are starting to move. Currency pairs gapping down. Currency pairs will probably drop. I think the dollar will go up. I think you'll see USD pairs go up. Maybe USD pairs have some like bullish reaction at first, right? Oh wow, that would have been a beautiful sell on USD CAD. Damn. When did we mark this up? What the heck? Yo, no, you guys gotta remind me about anytime I mark up a currency pair, because I forget. Same with USD Japan. Like, you guys, I forgot about this, and we were looking for sells on USD Japan. I forgot about this, and you guys got. I forgot because I just look at gold, yo. Some of you guys gotta remind me when look at stuff so much. Every day we're looking at gold, 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 gold. A little bit of crypto, a little bit of crypto. Once in a while, I'll look at a currency pair, and then I'll forget I even looked at it because I'm just looking at gold, 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 gold. And then I'll go back and be like, yo, when did I look at this? When did I mark this up? Like USD CHF and USD CAD. GU, like what was down there? That's from like December. Okay. USD might gap up, but that doesn't mean like if USD, this is a situation where if like USD goes up, gold could still go up. Gold's going to be strong because of uncertainty and safe haven. Gold is a safe haven asset. Gold is a safe haven asset. So in times of uncertainty, when there's geopolitical tension rising with this guy, and you can expect that, right, with this guy, Sir Donald Trump. So let's play this real quick. For those of you guys that didn't hear this is important so you can kind of get an idea of like where things are at. Sounds like things are going to continue moving forward, right? It does sound like things will continue moving forward. Yeah, I think YouTube like really pushed out some like views there for me on some ads. Like, not gonna lie. Shout out YouTube. Shout out YouTube. Shout out YouTube, fam. So I'll play this before I get off. Markets open soon. I'll see you guys in the inner circle. If you guys are in the inner circle, I'll see you guys later tonight. We're going to be live in a little bit. All right. So yeah, listen to this. Trump,
Over the past
1 hour ago, had some things to say about the current situation. So let's listen to this. We're going to get off. I'll see you guys in the inner circle. I'll drop the link shortly inside Discord and in school for those of you guys that are inside the inner circle.
36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now again the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons, would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America.